Southern Democrat is now out to make history in November by running to become the first Arab American congresswoman from the state of Texas. Join us now is Lulu Seikaly. Lulu is Democratic nominee for Congress in Texas. Lulu, great to have you here. I do want to talk about your district here, Texas's 3rd congressional district. The good folks over at Cook Political Report now say your district, as you well know, they call is a ticking time bomb for the Republican Party. What does your campaign see on the ground to support that idea?
Yeah, well, thank you first and foremost for having me. This district is one of those communities. We have 2 of the fastest growing cities in the entire country here in the Texas 3rd Congressional District. So what we're seeing here on the ground is people who have been moving in not only from out of state, but first generation Americans, immigrants, making this district much more diverse. And my backstory really resonates with them. You just mentioned we're trying to make history here to be the first Arab American congresswoman Texas has ever elected. And my parents fled civil war in Lebanon in 1984, came to this country to make a better life for themselves, both pursued careers in the healthcare field. My dad is a physician, my mom is a nurse. And what we're hearing on the ground a lot of times is not only people are worried about the American dream and the opportunity for the American dream to continue to be, but people are truly worried about healthcare. So my story, not only on the immigrant level, really resonates with people, but my parents' backstory as healthcare professionals has been really resonating with people here.
So, Lulu, without a doubt, healthcare continues to be the #1 issue that Democrats want to stress here for this election. So let's go there. If I'm not mistaken, according to your own campaign's platform, you are not a supporter of what most people would consider Medicare for all. If I'm not mistaken, you basically are embracing the current system, though you do want to add a public option. I would argue that probably puts you closer in line with a Joe Biden plan. Why is that the best path forward? Some people would say that's incremental progress as opposed to embracing Medicare for all.
Look, I've always said from day one of this campaign, I am a pragmatic progressive. My goal with healthcare is to cover as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. The Affordable Care Act, we all know it's not perfect, but it's definitely something we can continue building on. Add the public option to see if how the markets react to it, because I truly am a believer in harnessing the power of the markets. And let's see where we go from there. Because I don't know that we can get to a Medicare for all system as quickly as people anticipate. But what we do need now, people need healthcare, and they need it accessibility, and they need it to be affordable.
Lulu, if all goes according to plan for your campaign, you would get to Congress, and on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, you would have a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration. I'm curious, when you look back at both of those campaigns, both of those candidacies for president, both Harris and Biden, were there key things that stuck out to you that you agreed with? And what did you see out of the Biden-Harris campaign that perhaps you disagree with?
Here in the Texas 3rd Congressional District, I think the Biden-Harris ticket couldn't have been a better pick for us here. Joe Biden is really appealing to a lot of the people that we're trying to appeal to, a lot of the people who don't like Donald Trump, because, the guy I'm running against, Van Taylor, is a Donald Trumper. He's been voting with Trump 95% of the time in office. In fact, even during this pandemic, he has tried stripping away our healthcare during this pandemic. That is not a representative that people of the Texas 3rd Congressional District want. I am so honored to be sharing the ballot with Vice President Biden and Senator Harris. I'm very excited that we could potentially be electing the first woman VP for this country. And we will be electing the first woman to represent the Texas 3rd, as well as the first Arab American congresswoman from Texas. So I know people here in the Texas 3rd are excited about the Democrats making history in November.
Lulu, there could easily be a scenario where you get to Congress, but the other chamber is still controlled by a Kentucky Republican with the name of Mitch McConnell. You know as well as I do, progress is incremental at best and is stalled repeatedly at worst in Congress. In other words, it's very hard to get things done. How do you square that away with your constituents who obviously would be sending you to Congress to actually get legislation passed if you are dealing with what Democrats popularly refer to as the Mitch McConnell graveyard?
Well, I say this a lot on the campaign trail, and I think a lot of candidates also said this in 2018, because 2018 for me was, and I know for a lot of people, was a huge turning point in the types of people we're sending to Congress. And I just continue to remind the electorate here that we cannot change Washington without changing the types of people we send there. We have to start sending younger people, more women, more people of color. We were successful in 2018, but we've got to be even more successful in 2020. So I'm optimistic not only will the Democrats expand the majority in the House, with me being one of them sworn in, but I'm very, very confident that we can take over the Senate as well and actually start working for the working people.
We do need to leave it there. Lulu Seikaly, Democratic nominee for Congress in Texas's 3rd Congressional District. Thanks a lot for taking the time. Great to have you here on the show.